How difficult can it be to trim a cat's nails?
わあ、動くな。
Lately, Tom had been feeling an itch in his claws. The only way he could seem to relieve it was by scratching the couch. When Mom and Dad noticed, they decided it was time to trim his nails. Tom, however, resisted with all his might. He struggled so fiercely that you would have thought nail trimming was a life or death situation. In the end, the entire family had to work together just to hold him still. By the time they finally finished, Dad's hands were covered in bite marks and scratches. One day, Jack dug out some of his old toys. Coincidentally, Tom came over looking for someone to play with. That's when Dad realized something. Jack had plenty of toys, but Tom didn't have a single one of his own. Every day, he had to entertain himself. Being a devoted cat lover, Dad immediately rushed to the store. As he looked at the shelves packed with all kinds of pet toys, he could already picture Tom happily playing with them and affectionately rubbing against him afterward. Eventually, he returned home with a huge pile of toys. But even when he placed them right in front of Tom, the cat simply stared at them without moving. He had absolutely no idea how to play with them. So Dad patiently demonstrated how each toy worked. Unfortunately, all the toys Dad had carefully picked out were still less interesting than the sound of a crinkling plastic bag. To Tom, that noise was far more exciting. Meanwhile, Dad, who worked as a graphic designer, had recently hit a creative slump. He spent an entire day trying to come up with ideas but couldn't create anything he was satisfied with. Then, while he stepped away to use the bathroom, Tom seized the opportunity to climb onto his desk. To Tom's surprise, the desk turned out to be an incredibly fun playground.
Cuteee! ダメだよ!
By the time Dad returned, the entire workspace was a complete mess. Books were scattered everywhere, and the desk looked like a disaster zone. But instead of getting angry, Dad looked through the books Tom had accidentally knocked over. And among the mess, he discovered a brand new source of inspiration for his designs.